Well, hello there, and welcome to our podcast, Wrap Up and Unwind, with Z and Roderick, inspired by our life experiences, where we share our loves of movies, TV series, books, and video games, and also get real with our thoughts on all things concerning life and faith. You can find us on YouTube and Spotify. Hit the subscribe, follow, or sign up button so you don't miss an episode. Hello, and we're back for another episode of our podcast, Wrap Up and Unwind with Z and Roderick.
Hey guys.
Guess who is back with us?
Woo!
Hi.
Guess who's back? It's
Welcome back.
Shelly. Shelly is back, and we're having a conversation today on betrayal in friendship. This is our third episode in the
I
friendship
believe it's the fourth
saga.
episode, right?
Well, in the friendship saga.
Yeah.
Yes. Or fourth episode.
Okay, yeah. Yeah.
Fourth episode, but third episode with a third guest where we're having this conversation surrounding friendships. And today is basically betrayal in friendships. So, my
Yeah.
love, Shelly, you're kicking us off as usual. So, what does betrayal look like to you in regards to friendship?
Oh, that's a really good question. Um, I mean, personally, to me, it's not being there for your friend.
Okay.
I feel like there can be a set of expectations when you start becoming friends with someone, like, um, this is how consistently we're going to be speaking to each other. This is how I would like to be communicated with. This is what I'm not really okay with. And I feel like as you start getting to know someone, you build those foundations and stuff. And I feel like it's maybe when someone goes behind your back and does something, it could be if someone disrespects you and you've already expressed your feelings towards them and they continue to do it.
Yeah.
It could be them not really including you in things, but including other people. Yes, it's a whole range of things.
Basically.
Pretty much, yeah.
A lot. So, what would be like your go-to? Like, how do you deal with that? Depending on what the situation of the betrayal is. Like, how do you go about dealing with that, first of all?
Oh, well, you know how there's some people who like to go to bed angry?
Yeah.
And there are other people who like to tackle things head on and are like, okay, we had this argument, we had this disagreement, let's talk about this. I
Yeah.
feel like I'm very much, it depends on who the friend is, because I have a best friend
Yeah.
and with him, I like to sort things out quickly. I don't like it to, because we barely argue with the kind of people that like, if there's an issue, we're just gonna communicate it like adults and then we move on.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I would just like to communicate and see what the issue is because I don't like that feeling when you've been hurt by a friend or you hurt a friend and you have that feeling in your heart that like, oh no, something's changed here, like we're not on good terms anymore. So I always like to like communicate, hear the other person's perspective and just try to see how we can move on. But I'm not always like that. Sometimes I can be really petty and be like, I don't want to talk to you right now, like leave me alone. But I try not to be that way. Yeah.
Okay.
I guess that's normal, to be fair, because I think depending on what it is, we all react differently. Depending on what that situation can be like, sometimes I think taking a step back before you decide probably to have a conversation, the best thing would be to maybe take a step back first of all.
It sounds like you need like a level of maturity in a relationship to have that kind of connection.
Yeah, but I
Yeah.
obviously, again, common sense, not all that common. Not everybody.
True.
Not everybody has that maturity or that sense to say, okay, this is X, Y, and Z. And I, God, I heard something. This was just before we started to do this. I can't remember how it goes now, but it was kind of along the lines of having to deal with someone who basically puts you in a situation, but then they play the victim
Mm,
when they are the
manipulation.
ones, yeah,
Oof.
when they are the ones basically who did something wrong. Like they hurt you, but it's kind of in that situation of, oh, but you let me, so you can't blame me for
Mm.
doing it. Or I've always treated you a certain way. Now
Oh,
you want me to not treat you that way?
yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't remember who said this, but we teach people how to treat us
Yep.
ourselves.
Yep.
So yeah, in that situation, you can't entirely blame yourself, but you did contribute to it
Mm-hmm.
in some way. Yeah,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
yeah,
And I think depending on it depends. I think you react differently given whatever situation that betrayal may occur in. It could be something as someone choosing to disrespect you, like with me, which
exactly.
I've mentioned in the previous episode. You disrespect me in any shape or form, I'm walking away. I will not
Yeah,
sit for disrespect. That for me isn't easy, and not everybody likes that. They feel like they should be given a chance. But I look at
yeah,
it like, no, if I give you, what's that saying? How does it go? Where you give them a little inch and they take a mile.
Oh yeah, yeah.
yeah,
You give someone an
yeah,
inch and they take a
And they
mile.
take a
Yeah.
mile.
yeah. It's
I look at
facts
it
though.
that way. If I give you, if I say, oh yeah, sure, you know what, it's okay. Let bygones be bygones. You're gonna do it again.
It's
And
facts.
probably even bigger.
Yeah,
Even bigger. The way my mom raised me was not to take crap from people and sit there and say, oh, well, I'm sorry. Oh, it was a joke. I didn't mean to. Oh, I was hurt, so I decided to hurt you. I'm
yeah.
sorry. Those are excuses for me that doesn't fly. If you
That's
do
true.
that, it's, oh, okay, good for you. Bye. Thank you. Next.
It's
That's,
always good to have people that respect your boundaries.
yeah.
So yeah,
And that's something I think a lot of people don't understand in terms of boundaries. And to be fair, even myself,
yeah,
it took like a friend of mine teaching me those things to realize, okay, you can't keep saying yes, yes, yes to people because when they treat you a certain way, to them is expected because that's what you showed them how they should treat you.
yeah,
Now, when you start complaining, they look at it like they've done nothing wrong. Where, in fairness, yes, they did something wrong, but at the same time, like you said, Rod, you you allowed it.
yeah. In a way,
Yeah.
because to be honest, it's like if you say yes to everything, you are
Mm-hmm.
slowly changing yourself
Yeah.
to suit what they picture you to be in some way. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's
So
having,
it's really up to you.
yeah,
Yeah.
basically. It's choosing, I think it stems for, again, which we talked about in the previous episode, self love,
Yeah.
self respect, self awareness, self reflection, kind of looking
Yeah.
inward to kind of know what you deserve and how you want people to treat you. In terms of
So
betrayal, I look at it like, depending on what that situation could look like, you have to decide, is this the right space for me to be in? I don't know if you guys have ever been in that kind of headspace where you're choosing to
mm,
either stay or walk away when someone has either crossed your boundaries or disrespected your boundaries.
yeah.
What are your thoughts?
I feel like I've been in that situation, but
Mm-hmm.
relationship wise,
Yeah.
where you feel like the person is you kind of lie to yourself, thinking that you remember the past and you want to
Yeah.
stay there for that,
Yeah.
even though you've moved on quite considerably.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've been there kind of. Just remember how the person was, and you feel like they're still the same way,
Mm-hmm.
trying to salvage whatever's there,
Yeah.
but it's just not there. Yeah,
I mean, in all fairness, change takes time. So I look at it in that sense of, okay, maybe for right now, again, depending on what that circumstances looks like, you can choose to decide, okay, for right now, I'm going to step away
yeah,
and maybe come back when you were both, I guess, no longer the same people that you were when you were in that situation. And sometimes that could work. And
yeah.
sometimes it couldn't, because especially if I've had my situation where I got to a place where I had outgrown that person.
Mm,
And even though they came back and had, forgiven the whole situation, I felt I was no longer that person. And
mm,
even though the person themselves were a different person in terms of character, I still felt the new me just didn't have the bandwidth or the space for them in my new journey,
wow.
if that makes sense.
So you
So you,
basically matured in a lot,
yeah,
pretty
and
much.
I looked at it like, although yes, they've grown, they're a different person, blah 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 blah, good for you. But don't want you. I didn't want the person being part of my journey anymore. I felt
Mm.
I had outgrown the person, and they were no longer needed or wanted in
Oh
my
wow.
space. So I think sometimes you need to take a step back and evaluate yourself.
Yeah.
Knowing who you are determines how people treat you.
Mm.
Am I making sense?
Self-worth is important
Yeah.
to be aware of.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said before, put your mental health first
Mm-hmm.
in the whole situation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's a thing of just checking yourself. And sometimes talking to someone different, I guess, who isn't in your usual, I guess, social circle.
Yeah.
They see things differently. Which is why when I get into a situation, I tend to want to talk to other people. Not in sense of like, oh, I'm gossiping and I'm painting myself as this victim. I never do that. I'm more, tell me what I did wrong. Point out my
Yeah.
faults so that I can know, if I messed up here and what I need to do to fix things, if things
Mm.
can be fixed. But if you're looking for a yes man kind of person, then you need to change your circle.
Oof, yeah. I feel like most times when you're in a situation where you're constantly being betrayed, you feel
Mm-hmm.
like within yourself that maybe you won't get anything better
Mm-hmm.
than this.
Mm-hmm.
So we tend to just stay there
Yeah.
and not move on and not see what could be the future for us. So yeah, that's what I remember going through something like that
Mm-hmm.
myself, where you
Yeah.
just feel like this person's much better than what could be.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's never true, really.
No, it's not.
Yeah,
There's always someone better. Because if someone,
definitely.
there's always someone better. Because if you're with someone who treats you like crap, you'll find out when you leave that space, you're gonna find someone who's gonna treat you better. And the thing is, the longer you stay in that situation, the harder it is for you to come out of it.
That's facts.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
this is why this self-reflection, self-awareness, self-worth, everything, which is everything self. You have to check. You have to check yourself and know yourself, then decide, so what am I doing? is this right for me? Which is, in that situation, you have to look at yourself. I mean, yeah, when a betrayal occurs, depending on what it is, it hurts because it's coming from someone you trusted, someone you loved,
Yeah.
someone you cared for. And when they hurt you, it dims that thing of, oh, you didn't care enough for me to put me first.
That's facts. Yeah.
That's the way I look at it. And that will hurt a lot. And
Yeah.
most times I for one think this is where therapy comes in. I think you have to go, get some form of professional help in that sense because it can damage you and
Mm,
ruin whatever potential friendships that will come in the future after that experience you've had. If you don't decide to get help, then with your future friendship, you're going to lose really good people in your life because
that's true.
you haven't dealt with what needed to be dealt with. And
Do you
yes,
do you think there's like a time, amount of time that there is to like heal from a betrayal, or is it just like as long as it takes?
what do you think,
I think that's a
Shani?
really good
Yeah.
question. I
Yeah.
think it's just relative to the person
Hmm.
because some people like take a short amount of time and some people it takes years. Like
Yeah.
even with me, like I went through something not yesterday, last year that oh
I was gonna say
and
yesterday.
Like yesterday.
now
Yeah.
like I can still feel the remnants of the hurt. And
Hmm.
sometimes I have those emotional flashbacks, like, oh yeah, like they're doing something similar to someone that hurt me did. Like, what if it will have the same ending?
Hmm.
And then I have to remind myself, like, this is a different person
Yeah.
with different
Mm,
experiences. They're not who you were friends with before.
Yeah.
Like you need to let that go and see this person for who they exactly are
Yeah.
instead of just saying, oh, they're exactly the same person as who I met before. Like,
Hmm.
but I guess it just
wow,
takes time. But it's
Yeah.
different for everybody.
Yeah. And
that's powerful to
yeah.
think about. It's like to accept them for who they are now than how they were before. That's pretty strong.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And again, like I said, depending how long is not the issue. The problem is you can't stay there too long because Roger
Mm.
and we've had this conversation where I've said to you, people keep saying they're triggered, they're triggered, they're triggered. That's all good and all, you're triggered. But not everybody is going to take your trigger into accountability. Now, what are you doing about that trigger? It's all well and good to be triggered, but you know what? There are how many billions of people, trillions of people in this world?
It's a lot. It's a lot of people.
Everybody's not going to go, oh, we have to take it, we have to tread lightly. They're triggered.
Yeah.
No. So you have to go and do the work for yourself, but you can't stay there too long. And that's not to say you should tell someone how long they should heal for. I mean, yes, you can look at it and say, oh my God, 10 years, really? But at the same time, maybe they're just slow in
Maybe.
that
Yeah.
process. And also, it could also mean they're not ready to start doing the work.
Maybe they
To,
started late.
yeah, to get to that place. And they also may
Yeah.
not be ready to start doing the work. To us, those who like, I'll use myself as an example. Obviously, my sometimes, depending what it is, it could be a short frame of time and I've dealt with it. But then again, you might think you've dealt with it because I had that experience and then I got triggered and I had to go, you know what? Maybe I haven't really dealt with it.
Mm.
And then
Mm,
I had to go back again. It's like going back to your drawing board. Okay, what do I need to do? How can I remedy this? Because I can't live my life like this. And then
mm.
I did that work and came back and got into that kind of situation again. It wasn't me personally, to somebody else. And I saw I had no reaction to it. And that's when I knew to
Wow.
myself, oh, okay, you've got through this. And when you can talk about something that hurts without getting upset, and you can laugh about it and go, oh, you know what, that's a part of an experience I
Mm,
had somewhat how many moons ago. Now I'm good. You get what I mean? Then that, I think, in my opinion, my personal opinion, for me, that shows me, okay, I've done the work. I've dealt with what I need to deal with. And now I can move forward rather than keep looking back. Because the
mm.
thing with looking back, there's nothing there.
Powerful. Yeah.
Literally,
Deep stuff.
there's
I do
nothing
that all
there.
the time. I do that all the time. Like constantly looking back, and I don't know why, because it's just me hurting myself. Like, like constantly thinking back to the moment they hurt me and thinking about why did they do that? Why did they treat me like that?
I'm in
Like,
the same
why did
boat.
they treat me? And I need to literally snap myself out of it and be like, it doesn't matter why they did it. It just happened, and you need to find a way to
Yeah.
move on with it. And you reminiscing about it won't change what happened. It's
Mhm.
only hurting you. Ooh.
Mm.
The bestie, one of my besties told me whenever I'm thinking of someone and I go, oh, I really want to know why, or I really want to know this and that. And she said to me, and she goes, you're here thinking this. That person isn't thinking this.
Yes, facts.
Yeah, they don't
They've moved
care.
on. That's the
You're
painful
just,
part.
you're stressing yourself out for no reason. That person doesn't
Yeah.
care. They've moved on. You're still, dealing and keep poking at that one, poking, and making it bigger and bigger and bigger. And that's just
Mm.
hurting me. It's not, yeah, it's basically taking medicine and expecting the other person to die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my question is, do you need a sorry?
Do you need a what?
A sorry?
I don't think you do. Some people think
Or
that
the
you need
yeah.
closure,
Mm,
but I personally feel like you can get a sorry. Sometimes it depends on the
yeah.
situation. But for
Yeah.
me, like I don't understand why I would give someone the like my freedom to move on, like why I'm
Mm-hmm.
waiting
Mm.
to
Yeah.
gain this approval for someone that hurt me to be able to move on. Like they hurt me, like why am I allowing them, why am I
Waiting.
giving them all the power to like make sure that I'm better when they already
Yeah.
hurt me? But
Yeah.
sometimes it depends. It depends. Because
Mm.
sometimes a sorry would be nice, especially if you want to rebuild something with someone or you want them to acknowledge how they affected you. But
Mm-hmm.
personally, for me, I'm gonna give myself that closure. Yeah. I'm gonna end the story for myself and then I'm gonna move on. Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
that. That's some real strength there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes total sense because sometimes when you think you need that sorry, when you get it, it actually might piss you off.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
then you didn't get the sorry. That happened to me, and I remember being pissed.
Oof.
Because I remember thinking in my head, oh, so because it was a situation where I thought, maybe I started the domino effect. I felt I did something wrong to warrant the hurt I got. But it just turns out I didn't actually do anything. It was all on that person. And so that hit me
Mm.
and it hurt. And when they got to apologize, it was, no, I don't accept your apology because
Oof.
you mean to tell me I did nothing wrong? I did
That's crazy.
absolutely nothing wrong. And you just decided to basically stab me in the back and hurt me so much
Yeah.
for
Hey, lessons were learnt.
right?
Yeah, lessons were learnt that
Yeah.
day.
So that's, to some people they need sorry. I've learned to let go of that sorry.
Yeah, and also some people don't even know. First of all, some people don't know how to apologize. And an apology is you acknowledge what you've done, you say sorry, and then you talk about how you're going to improve for the future so it won't happen again. Some people just say sorry just to
Hey.
because they feel comfortable that you're hurt, so they'll apologize, but they won't actually know what they've done wrong. They just want to move forward. And in that case, like I don't
Yeah.
want your apology if you don't know what you actually done. Sorry.
We
Sorry.
need that on a billboard somewhere.
Yeah, and that's facts because sometimes they say sorry just to put an end to it because you will hear, which I also got, where it was, oh, I thought we've moved past this.
Yeah.
Why are we talking about it again?
Yeah. See,
And I go, you don't,
sometimes the conversation won't really solve anything.
yeah.
You're just sometimes it's not necessary.
And I think you have to, which is why I said therapy, because on my end, therapy was what helped me. If not, I don't think I could have done it on my own. And I have amazing friends, bless them, but they couldn't help me through this. I needed the professional help in that. And for me, making sure, getting that help. For some people, therapy is not something that really works for everybody. Let's be honest. It's not for everybody. Well, for some people, it does work.
Yeah.
So,
For others, it's necessary. Like
yeah,
you need to go.
you need to go. Yeah.
100%.
That's why you need to go to be
Please
a
go.
better. Yeah, please go. Because you don't want to ruin somebody.
Yeah.
Because then, which is why I say in that experience, you have to make sure you work on it because you're going to ruin the friendship you could be getting and enjoying. But because you
That's
still have
true.
that mentality in your head of this person is just going to hurt me the way that person did. And you have
Yeah.
to look at it, in my part, the way I look at it is, you are the problem if you decide to help me.
Oof, it's hard to hear, but it could be
Not
facts.
me. Not me. Like, you are the problem, not me. If you choose to hurt me rather than coming to talk to me about what it is that I may or may not have done wrong, and you
Yeah.
choose, oh, the best way for me to do it, that takes away everything I may or may not have done to you. That takes that all away. Because you decided, oh, I'm going to do it this way because, well, misery loves company. So, no, no one is going to listen to you after that. Because the first question is, oh, so did you have a conversation with her? No. Okay, you didn't.
Oof.
So, betrayal, depending on what it looks like. And sometimes I think when we think of betrayal, we always think it always has to be something grand. It doesn't
Yeah.
always have to be, grand. It could be something small as being disrespected or being treated a certain way you did not want, or someone crossing your boundary. It could be anything, very little. But sometimes talking it out can help. And there are sometimes where you have to decide, is this environment safe for me to be in?
Exactly.
Is this my person? If not, I'm going to exit stage left.
Just
Mm.
learn to forgive. It may take some time, but it's necessary for you.
And you're not forgiving because, oh, I just want to forgive. You're forgiving for yourself.
Yeah.
You have to think of me. That person can kick rocks. This is, the healing is for you, not for that person. If that person
Exactly.
chooses they don't want to, be a better human being, hey,
Exactly.
that's their problem, not yours. You have to go get the help you need for yourself.
At the end of the day,
So,
you see yourself every day. You take care of yourself every day. So
mhm,
everything really is for you.
it's for you, not for
Yeah.
anyone else. So go put in the work for yourself, not because someone said so, but because you don't want to do. Because sometimes subconsciously, I think you might end up hurting somebody the way you've been hurt.
Yeah.
And you might not even be aware of it, that you're doing it until it hits you and then you go, oh no, oh no.
Exactly.
I know how that made me feel. I should not have done that. And there are people who would genuinely do that because, well, like I said, misery loves company. So, no.
Exactly. And to be honest, all betrayal is not really the same.
Mm-hmm.
So you can use the situation and like use it as an opportunity to grow
Mm-hmm.
instead of being bitter. So yeah.
Yeah. Help yourself. It's for you, not for anybody else. Just for you.
Yeah.
And betrayal hurts. To be fair, nobody likes a Judas.
Yeah, no one does.
Nobody
Yeah.
does. Um, but you need to be a better person for yourself, not for anyone else. And if you choose you want to be friends with your Judas, that's up to you. But you need to know, you need to understand.
It's not a good idea, but sure.
I mean, to be fair, technically it's not. But you can, because there was a part of me where I had that thought of, okay, with two different people, maybe I could. But then I sort of tried. To be fair, she made an effort. I barely did. But I think
I
that,
tried as well.
yeah, I think mostly on my part is because I had checked out.
Yeah.
I was kind of done. So no
Oh,
matter how
okay.
much effort she put in, appreciated it in the moment, but I still didn't want anything to do with her
Okay.
because I had checked out. I'd put an end to that friendship.
Right.
So if you want to walk away, that's also fine. There's nothing wrong with walking away. You don't have to go back to the person who hurt you. Because to be fair, sometimes if you're just going back, that person's just checking if you're still stupid.
Exactly.
And,
Really and truly.
Yeah.
To be
and
honest, in my situation, I met new people,
mhm,
and they were like significantly better. And then when I went back to this person, it felt like I had to shrink myself so that you can satisfy them.
mhm,
So it wasn't good. So I just let them go. There's no point in holding on.
yeah. Do not,
Yeah.
do not dim your light for nobody. Don't
Yeah.
ever do it, please. Don't ever do it. So I think get help for you, not for that person. No matter how angry or hurt you are, choose help for yourself, not for that person. Because if you decide to stay angry, you're only letting who hurt you keep winning.
That's true.
That's the way I look at it. Because that person is going on with their life and they don't care. You may see them 10 years from now, and surprisingly, they might still be the same person. Don't be surprised.
Because like no one told them to change, so it's like
Exactly. So
there's no point.
yeah, you will be shocked. They might
It's a
actually
losing battle.
still be the same person. So hey, get help for you. Any last words in, guys? Any last thing to say?
You can heal.
I think what I think what Roderick said was really beautiful, how when you found a different group of friends, when you
Yeah.
went back to the old person, like you realized how much you've changed.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it can
Yeah.
be beautiful when you're around people who genuinely appreciate you and value you, and it's reciprocal, and
Yep.
you just fill each other up. And when you go back to like someone that you used to know, you're like, I'm not this person anymore. I
Yeah.
have people who have shown me who I am, and they love me for it.
Mm-hmm.
I really, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I
It's
like
true because like you can see the different like because for me I was walking on eggshells with this
Mm-hmm.
person because like anything I would say would be like, oh you're this messed up guy, this and that, whereas this other group of people was like genuinely loving and actually
Lifts
wanted to
you
be
up.
around me.
Yeah.
Yeah, like uplifting. So it's
Mm-hmm.
like, why am I still here in this weird space? It's like there's no point.
See?
Yeah, it's pointless.
So hey, heal. We can all heal. Guys, we can
Move
all,
on.
you can't keep repeating the trauma, passing it on. I'm sorry. You know,
Yeah.
this is not Lord of the Rings. We can't,
it.
we can't be collecting traumas. We can't be collecting traumas, guys. So please heal for yourself, not for anyone else, but for you. Be kind, love yourself, and take it easy.
Exactly.
Yeah. See yourself, bud.
Yeah, follow us on our social media. If you love this episode, let us know down below and let us know your betrayal stories in the comments. Subscribe to the channel and we'll see you guys in the next episode.
Hey, Shelly. Thank you.
Thanks for joining us.
Guys.
Thank you. And we would definitely have you on again. The Three Musketeers. Always.
Yay.
Always. But that's it for us, guys. And we'll see you for the last episode.
All right, peace.